Hello, my first graders. Today we're starting on lesson 20. So I'm going to go over with you your words to know. Want, old, try, use, more, wash, mother, door. I'm going to go through them again. Want, old, try, use, more, wash, mother, door. Now let me point a few things out in our words. Want. This is want like you want something. I want a new bike. Okay, want. This is a word that you're going to have to memorize. It shows up in many of the things that we read. Okay, want. Old. We've looked at this chunk many times in other words like hold and fold and cold. Okay, that's our chunk, old. And when you say old, right, you hear the O, old. Try. The word try, that Y has an I sound, just like in the word buy. Try has the TR blend, try. Use. This E tells the U to say its name, use. Okay, it is different from the word us because it has the E at the end. The E tells the U to say its name, use, use. More. There's our little word or in it, right? More. Wash. The A in wash, right, doesn't really sound the way you would think. It's not wash, no, wash. Has our SH blend at the end. Shh. Mother. There's our TH, mother. ER makes that sound, mother. And door. All right, so please practice those words this week. Okay, you see our words in a sentence. Make sure you go on to our lesson 20 book room. You will find a picture of these in there. Check that out so you can practice reading your words and sentences. All right, let's preview our topic. Feelings. When someone tells you a joke, when someone tells a joke, you laugh. When a friend moves away, you are sad. When something scary happens, you may get frightened. People show their feelings in many different ways. Who can help you feel better when you feel bad? You will read about what happens when Little Rabbit gets scared in Little Rabbit's Tale. All right, so our story this week is called Little Rabbit's Tale. Hey, you're going to see some cause and effect as we're doing our reading. Okay, that means that you're going to see something, there's an event that happens, and then it causes something to happen. What happens next. Okay, so think about cause as like because. Something happens because this happened. Okay, this is what happens first, and then that's what happens next because of this. Okay, Little Rabbit's Tale. That's our story for the week. So this is our title page. Let me point something out in the title. Little Rabbits. Oh, you see that apostrophe S shows ownership, right? Or it means that something belongs to Rabbit. This word tail, they're not talking about his fluffy little tail. This word tale is talking about a story. Tale that's spelled T-A-L-E means it's a story. So Little Rabbit's Tale or Little Rabbit's story. Okay, so again, apostrophe S, right? We learned about this. That's a possessive noun. It means something belongs to the rabbit. Right? It is by Juan Herbert Lee and illustrated by Richard Bernal. So here they are over here. And again, on Think Central, you can click to learn about them. This story is a folk tale. A folk tale is an old story told for many years. So remember, we talked about folk tales. They're told over and over and over again. But every time somebody tells it, they usually tell it a little bit differently. Okay, it's how they see things. There's usually a lesson about life that we learn. There can be animals that act like people. And sometimes it has the words happily ever after. So as we're reading this folktale, and again, folktale, right? Think about what they said, lesson in life, animals who act like people, story told over and over again. Usually folktales are fiction, right? It means they're not real. And if you look at how this rabbit is running, that right away tells you rabbits don't run like that, right? They get down on all fours and they're hopping, right? Not running like this. So it lets you know that this is not a real story. Okay, so as we read this story, we are going to see that there's a lesson to be learned. I wonder who's going to learn that lesson. All right, Little Rabbit's tail. And again, tail is not that tail like this. This tail means story. The other thing I want to say before I start reading this is there might be another story that is familiar to you that's very similar to this, because remember, folktale is an old story told over and over again, right? So in this story, it's Little Rabbit's tale, but there might have been a story or maybe even a movie that you saw that has some similar events. So try to think about that as you're hearing this story. Have you heard something like this before? Little Rabbit sleeps under an old apple tree. Just then, the wind starts to blow. The branches shift in the wind. Thump! Something hits Little Rabbit. Look at that picture. What's hitting Little Rabbit? Yeah, the apple. Oh no! The sky is falling, yells Little Rabbit. I've got to try to tell everyone. Little Rabbit hops off to find Goose. Why? Think about the effect. Little Rabbit's running to tell Goose the sky is falling. Why does he do that? What caused him to think the sky's falling? What caused him to think the sky's falling? Yeah, the apple hit him in the head, right? The apple hits him in the head. That's the cause. And the effect is now he thinks the sky's falling. He's running to tell his friend Goose. Goose sits in his rowboat. The tip of his rod starts to twitch. There's no time to fish, yells Little Rabbit. The sky is falling. Let's go, Little Rabbit. We need to go tell Beaver. Goose and Little Rabbit use the rowboat. They go up the stream. So look what Little Rabbit's doing. He yells to Goose. He tells Goose, the sky is falling, right? No time to fish. So they run off to tell their friend. So they're going to go tell Beaver. They're rowing in the rowboat. Goose peeks inside. Beaver is eating a snack. There's no time to eat, says Goose. Let's go. The sky is falling. Oh my, says Beaver. We need to go tell Turtle. Beaver and Goose and Little Rabbit dash up the hill. So what happens? They tell their other friend, right? The sky's falling. Does he get to eat his snack? He doesn't get to eat his snack because they tell him there's no time. So the effect is he's snackless. Why? The cause is because they think the sky is falling. Turtle sleeps under a log. Tap, tap. Beaver taps on Turtle's shell. Turtle peeks out. There's no time to sleep, says Beaver. Let's go. The sky is falling. Oh no, yells Turtle. What can we do? Let's run back home, says Little Rabbit. I want to tell my mother. Turtle, Beaver, Goose, and Little Rabbit run fast. They hop over the log, dash down the hill, and jump into Goose's rowboat. Then they go as fast as they can down the stream. Little Rabbit hops in the door. Mother, the sky is falling. Who told you such a thing? Asked Mother Rabbit. Beaver told me, says Turtle. Goose told me, says Beaver. Little Rabbit told me, says Goose. Well, let's just go outside and look at the sky, says Mother Rabbit. Just then, the wind starts to blow. The branches shift in the wind. Thump! Something hits Little Rabbit. What hit Little Rabbit again? Yeah, the apple. The apple hit him. Why? Because the wind started to blow. So the wind started to blow, and that's what caused the apple to fall down. Oh no! The sky is falling, yells Little Rabbit. The sky is not falling, laughs Mother Rabbit. An apple just fell from the apple tree. And look at Mommy, she's laughing at him, right? So does he still think the sky's falling? He did, didn't he? Right? But was it the sky? No, just an apple. I didn't get to catch a fish, says Goose. I didn't get to eat my snack, says Beaver. I didn't get to sleep, says Turtle. I've got a plan, says Little Rabbit. Can my friends eat with us? Yes, says Mother Rabbit. Go wash your hands while I get more plates. Hooray! So remember, all of these guys, they missed out on what they were doing, right? That was the cause. And why did they miss out? What caused them to miss out of all these things? Because Rabbit was yelling, the sky is falling. Little Rabbit has a nice meal with his friends. After that, they all have homemade apple treats. The friends lived happily ever after. Oh, those are words, happily ever after. Remember, that helps let us know it's a folk tale. All right, so it's funny that they're eating apple things at the end, isn't it? Right? Because remember what happened in our story? Yep, the apple fell on his head, right? So in this story, hopefully they learned a lesson. Can you think of the lesson that the animals probably learned in our story? Think about what they kept doing. They kept yelling, the sky is falling, didn't they? Did any of them stop to look to see if the sky was falling? No. And they each told each other. Rabbit told Goose, Goose told Beaver, Beaver told Turtle, right? So they told, should you tell your friends things that you're not sure if they're true? Did you tell them just because you heard it from somebody else? No. So hopefully the friends learned a lesson that, one, always be sure of something before you tell it to your friends. Okay? And don't tell things to your friends unless you're sure it's true. You shouldn't just repeat what you heard from someone else. Goose repeated it to Beaver, Beaver repeated it to Turtle, right? Repeat means to say it to somebody else again. They shouldn't have done that unless they were sure that it was true. Nobody stopped to think, is the sky really falling? They didn't look. So be careful with what you say to other people, especially if you are worried about something. Okay, so in this story, right, a lot of things happened. They thought the sky was falling, right? But was it really falling? Mm-mm. It was just the apple. Did this story by any chance remind you of another story? Or maybe a movie you heard? Have any of you heard of Chicken Little? I know there was a movie about Chicken Little. Okay, there's a couple different books about Chicken Little. So this story is just like Chicken Little, where they think the sky is falling, things happen. As we go through this week, you're actually going to hear a story, Chicken Little, about a story that's very similar. Because remember, a folk tale is told over and over again. It's not exactly the same every time you hear it, but some things about the story will be the same. Okay, so as you listen later on this week to Chicken Little, I want you to think about how it relates to Little Rabbit's Tale. And if you have time, maybe that's something you can check out, the Chicken Little movie, because I think it's on YouTube. All right, boys and girls, make sure you go on to Think Central and take time to read this story on your own. I want you to practice reading it. It will be on Think Central all week long.